Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels. My guest today, finally, we've been working on this for a while, is Kayla E, who put out one of the best books of last year, Precious Rubbish. And I think I even put it in my top three nonfiction. Because yes, I'm calling it nonfiction, even though you kind of made it fiction. It's always hard with the graphic memoirs to know how to
Hmm.
categorize them,
That's so true.
particularly when I have a limited number of categories that I'm willing to use.
Yeah, yeah. I consider the work nonfiction. That's how
Right.
I typically classify it. So I
Right.
support your categorization.
There you go. There you go. Um, uh, uh, how am I going to start? Um, it's both one of the funniest if you like aren't reading too carefully, and the most heartbreaking the deeper you dive into it, books that I've read in a long, long time.
I
I mean,
appreciate
it
that.
it goes along. I mean, there's a special words are hard right now. Um, actually, no, I'm gonna tell a story. So like, and Edgar knows some of this, but like, my wife's been dealing with health problems. I'm dealing with uh, uh learning how to manage autism in a world that not only doesn't like you to manage your autism, but also is like on fire. Um,
Mhm.
we I've been missing way too much work, so I need to be looking for a new job, not because they're going to fire me, but because it's clear that the job is taking too much of a toll. Um,
Mhm.
we had to buy two cars this week because they both got totaled all at once. We have friends in Minneapolis, we have family in Minneapolis, and, and like on top of all of that, my dog's got butt cancer, and that's our joke at this point. Is the dog's got butt cancer?
Oh
He's
yeah, that's bleak, man.
he's actually, I guess he left because he finished licking out my bowl. He's doing pretty good.
Good.
It's how to put this. Like, we saw the growth and took him to the doctor, not because he was like, he's an old dog. I mean, he's like 15 to 17. Um, but we took him because we saw the growth.
Hmm.
And the doctor's like, "Oh no, this is cancer. It's spreading fast."
Oh my
you
God.
know be prepared.
Yeah.
So far he's not showing any, but we're like aware that that's the thing. But like, I'm it's our joke. Like, the world is so bleak that we have to joke about it. And
Yeah.
the reason I'm telling this story is I feel like somehow you captured that in Precious Rubbish.
Hmm.
If you had just written your memoir,
Hmm.
people would have been like, how the fuck is she still standing?
It's legit.
And, it,
Yeah.
and I forgot to ask your pronouns. So if it wasn't
Oh,
supposed
she,
to be
her,
her,
she,
I
her. Yeah.
apologize. How the fuck is she still standing? Much
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
drawing this,
Yeah.
having to sit with this. I mean, I know people that the reason they don't do autobio
Oh yeah.
is the idea of spending a whole day or multiple days to draw. Like,
Mhm.
even if it's one page of your trauma, you're having to spend a whole day to draw it.
Like visualizing
Right,
the pain. It's yeah, it's horrific.
right.
Yeah.
Um, so like, on one level, this book is like, oh my God, how is she like upright,
Hmm.
much less able to do this? But then you also did it in such a whimsical old time cartoon style that it's like, you have not only shown that you have the ability to to play that gallows humor laughter, because what the fuck else are you going to do, but
Yeah.
you have managed to capture it in this book, both the horror and the
Mhm.
look. We have to find a way to laugh at this. No, it's not funny. I'm not saying it's
Hmm.
funny,
That's right.
but sometimes you have to laugh anyway. And the way you set up this book actually captures that. So I thought there was going to be a question here, and there isn't entirely, because mostly it's like, holy fuck, Kayla, this is a masterpiece for those reasons. To
Thank you.
capture that level of essence, it's
Thank
not
you.
even something that I think most people would think to try for, much
Yeah.
less
Yeah. Yeah.
achieve.
I am
So,
so
like,
grateful for what you just
right.
said. Yeah.
So if I'm making it a question, it's like, how
Yeah.
how did you decide to go about telling the story in this way? Was that actually the goal or the happy accident
Mhm.
of this is the only way that I can do it and not want to like throw my head through the window, possibly attached to my body, possibly not every 3 or 4 hours?
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, there's definitely, yeah, I got a lot to say. That's an excellent point and an excellent question because I look at the book and I wonder the same thing. To me now, it feels like it is no longer mine. Like
Right,
since sharing the work, it has become my readers. It's become their story. Little Kayla has become their child selves. Like this book has literally taken on a life and an identity of its own that feels really separate from me. And that's a completely different place than where I was when I was writing it. And
right,
the way that I see it is like I don't even really fully recognize the book. Like, how did this come to be? How did I make these decisions? How did I get this to work? How did I make this insane piece of art? And I think that like a couple of things in retrospect, I'm able to see sort of like all happened at once. I was at this like very particular crossroads in my life where one, I was inebriated for the majority of my time writing this book. I was in active addiction, bottoming out for my addiction. I wrote it in secret. So I wasn't thinking about a readership. I wasn't widely publishing it. I um I was literally making comics as an attempt to make sense of what happened to me, like while I was living in my abuser's house. So I'd graduated from college. I'd thrown away all my visual art. I was an art major in undergrad.
that last part is the
It's
my dog
horrific.
had butt cancer
Yes,
while
exactly.
I was living
Right.
in my abuser's house.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely horrific. It's like I call it it's like I had this hideous sparkle is something I've called it before, where it's this like tormented urge to create despite like any sense. Like, it makes no sense. It's painful to do it. I'm not in a position to where I should do it. I don't have the language for what I'm doing. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I'm just saying yes to this urge. And so the context was, as I mentioned, I threw away all my art in college. I moved back into my bio dad's house, like in the childhood bedroom that I was abused in. And I wasn't allowing myself to make physical art because I didn't think I deserved the space that art took up. And I had no money, so I couldn't buy art supplies. So I had my laptop, I had Adobe programs, and I was drawing comics pen and ink totally in a traditional way. Like I had like my favorite nibs and giant Swarthmore pieces of paper. I mean, total like a traditionalist. And I had these programs, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna let myself draw comics digitally because it's free, it takes up no space, and I can keep it a secret. And so I drew the very first page of Precious Rubbish I ever drew was actually page two of the content of the book. So after the word search, this one here, where little Kayla dies by suicide, that was the very first page I drew of this body of work, and it came out fully formed. Like the color palette, done. The character design, done. The font choice, everything, the logo, it was almost like a disgusting divine miracle. If you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I felt it when I drew this page. I was like, oh, this is something. I just created something. And I just continued to work on it. Like as my life got worse and worse and worse and worse, like this was my creative outlet because again, I wasn't allowing myself to make art in any other way. And so I would like draw Precious Rubbish and then like close my laptop and take my bio mom to a doctor's appointment. And so like contending with that was just like impossible. And so I think that it probably the making of this book fueled my alcoholism and drug addiction. But again, like I didn't even know that I was a survivor of incest. I didn't know that I was an alcoholic or an addict. I didn't even think I had that bad of a childhood, to be honest with you. I just was like experiencing acute symptoms of complex PTSD, and I had no idea. And this is sort of what that looked like with for a person with no tools but artistic tools, and a love of comics and an understanding of sort of like the magic potential of the form to like investigate the human experience, because I'd totally fallen in love with the medium. And it's been amazing that like
It's a great medium.
it's the best medium
It
of all
is
the
hands
mediums,
down,
hands
hands down.
down,
If I could
hands
jump
down.
in,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
so I mean, first off, it's an honor to have this conversation with you. I believe we met over at the Ohio
Yes.
Crossroads at
CXC. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I
60.
met you and your wife and your sweet kids.
yes, yes, yes. So it's
He
first
now
of
has a
all,
comic shop, so the next time you're in Chicagoland,
I have two comic book
you need
shops.
to do a signing.
I
Dude,
would love,
congrats.
I would
That's so cool.
love to have you. So first off, the book is fucking amazing. It is an amazing book.
Thank you.
I think I told you in person, it's inspiring even for my own past, which one day I'll put pen to paper if I have the courage that you did to do so.
Yeah.
With that said, the first part is the title in of itself, Precious Rubbish.
Mhm.
At one point, I'm going to ask a lot of questions and whatever you're comfortable telling, please do. But the title in of itself to me was very prolific, like just profound in that what that means. The idea of rubbish, something that you throw away. And it was just like, wow, that interplay with words was just amazing.
Mm,
But more importantly was the context of the body of work that you did. Uh, it had this kind of it was this clinical exercise, or would I even say a therapeutic exercise that you kind of walked us through. And I thought it was
yeah.
amazing because it's something that I would do with my students or whatnot. So I thought that was just amazing. But the thing that really blew my mind was how you presented or how and again, I don't know if you had intent or it's just a good visualization of what you were experiencing, the fragmented self of
Mm,
of PTSD, that like how
mm,
the memories were up and it was just like I heard some people try to read it and go like, well, it's confusing. I didn't get how, and I'm like, no, that's the fucking beauty of it. It's you
mhm.
can see trauma, you can see how it's back and forth, like how the mind works when it's going through all
Trauma is confusing.
Exactly.
like how
Disorienting. Yes.
or the memories of it are so
Yes.
fragmented. So it's just kind
Yes.
of back and forth, up and down. So it's just like, and that's what I mean by, you walked us through a therapeutic exercise. Like you
Mm,
were doing that. I don't know, about your personal history or whatnot, but you were doing and walking through a therapeutic exercise of how that trauma is for you. That back and
mhm,
forth, those memories coming into play, putting it on paper. It was amazing. Like it was just amazing. I mean, and it was courageous, it was raw, it was tearful, it was painful, but it was like, okay, let's look back and laugh at how this is. It was an emotional journey to say the least. And I thought
mm,
that was amazing. In the end, the reclamation of rubbish, the reforming of your identity, you brought us to that journey, that walk of, like I'm something that's not of value, but I am something of value. And that journey was just fucking amazing. Like, respectfully, I just wanted to hold you and hug you, like, oh my God, like that's fucking, you're like, oh
mm.
wow, like it was, yeah. I mean, I can't speak more highly of it. It's just an
Thank
amazing
you.
work.
Thank you. Yeah, wow. I have a lot to say. I'm so glad that you were able to like gain that experience from the book, because I think that like that really is the thing that makes it special in my view, is that it allows the reader to have an embodied experience of what it's like to be a survivor of trauma. Like and to me, like the way that that wasn't not a conscious, I didn't like architect that. I just was a survivor of trauma writing about my trauma, and this is how like I was going through like later on. So the first like 8 or 9 years of writing this book, I had no resources whatsoever and I had no language for what happened. But eventually I got sober. I came out as a lesbian. I moved away from my bio family and I started going to therapy. And so at the first, so I went to 2 rape crisis centers and then I started seeing a private practice therapist. And so at the first crisis center in a small town in South Carolina, which is where I was living, I started getting language. I got my therapist was able to help me understand my bio mom's potential diagnosis. She was able to diagnose me with CPTSD. She was able to say, like, gave me the language for what body dysmorphia is. Like, I was in recovery, so I knew I had addiction, But like once the self-medication was gone, all of this insane shit started coming up. And all of that was like going into the work. So I was like remembering things like as I would recover, my memory would change. I would see different parts of an experience and I would just make the work where I was. Like there's this real earnestness I think to Precious Rubbish and that like it really was like an honest exercise in trying to get close to the truth and like utilizing this form like trying to morph it and stretch it as much as possible to like understand myself and trying to make sense of things I don't remember. And I think that I'm so grateful when readers like you are able to see that and feel that because I really do think that that's the strength of the book. And I mean, it's like really hard earned, like it just was like fucking torture to get there. And it wasn't something that I like, had some master plan for how to do it. But I'm really glad that I think that, and so in retrospect, I'm able to see that. So I'm a Christian, and I converted a few years ago, and so I really practice sort of like a mystical form of Christianity. I'm not like I don't identify as like any particular tradition. I'm not a literalist. It's my sort of lens to access the divine. But I say that because I look back at my time writing Precious Rubbish and I really can see my higher power working through me to write this book, like against my better judgment. Like I think that pull that I feel to make art, it really is like the God of my understanding, like using me as a tool to create something for other people. Like this book, I see this book as a mirror. Like I built a mirror for my reader and I didn't even know it. Like it's like it's like the idea of like God being a power greater than myself. Like I kind of feel like art is a power greater than myself. Like I almost don't even feel like ownership over this work because the impact that it can have on readers is like it's absolutely astounding. Like the little Kayla character, like my readers have told me that like she is a vehicle for themselves. And when they feel that urge, like you mentioned, to like hold and comfort little Kayla, they're wanting to hold and comfort themselves. Like I really didn't want to create something that ended up feeling just trauma for shock value or was just like put like exploiting my child self or exploiting my pain. Like I think that I really was hoping that by sharing this work that it would perform as a mirror and I would be able to like reach my hand out to people I don't know who I'll never meet and be able to like meet them and they'll know that they're no longer alone. And like with the readers that I've met, I know that I'm not alone. In my most like specific and alienating moments of trauma, I've had readers tell me this is me. You wrote about me. And like that is I cannot ask for anything better from publishing this work, from deciding to share it. It's been really extraordinary.
Absolutely. The courage that you demonstrated was extraordinary. Just yeah, I mean, I'm at a loss for words sometimes when I sit back. I reread it a few times, and it's just like every time still a different journey. It's
Mm.
trauma really does come out, and it helps kind of awaken some of those ideas and fears and anger. A
Yeah.
lot of which ultimately anger is just pain. So it brings
Yeah.
out the pain. But we're able to project it and put it onto little Kayla and just kind of go like, hey, it's an amazing piece of work. It's an amazing piece of work. If you're ever in Illinois, we'd love to have you here. Like that, that's just
Hell yeah, thank you. That's so good to know. I appreciate that.
just amazing work.
Well, and the other thing is we have the most square footage of any
Okay.
store in Illinois. So
Wow.
there's plenty of space to like do stuff.
That's so cool,
You
you
don't
guys.
have to be in a corner signing.
Hmm.
You want to do a workshop? I'll set you up.
Okay, that's
We got a
amazing. I have
workshop
a really
coming
good
later
workshop
this month.
later this month. All right, we'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk. Let's look
Daria
at our schedules.
Tharuhar is doing a workshop for us on the 22nd. She's doing
Oh, wow.
a nonfiction comic
That's
workshop.
badass. Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
So yeah.
Very
I
cool.
mean, if I had my way, I'd just have like a big Fantagraphics party at the store at some point. I mean, it is
Uh-huh,
your
uh-huh.
50th birthday. So like
It's true.
if they're looking for a place outside of Seattle to have a party and they're willing to pay to get people there, because like I don't think Dr. Ramos is that rich.
You did say your hourly rate was high.
You
That's
know
true.
what?
I
I
mean,
know.
if he wants to say that he's willing to rent out a hotel and fly people from all over the country for
That
the
is so funny.
Fantagraphics 50th,
Let,
that's
let,
on him. But I
let's
try not to
talk.
speak for his money.
Let's talk. I do have a lake house that we can host several people at.
That's so cool. Oh, you guys
Um,
are so sweet.
It's your birthday?
It's Fantagraphics 50th
I'm
birthday
a,
this
yeah,
year.
Fantagraphics is 50 years old now.
Yes, yeah,
wow,
yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
so they're kind of
Pretty
celebrating
cool.
that all year. See,
I
like
go for
I'm your event coordinator. I think about this stuff all the time. Even the stuff that feels like it's pie in the sky, I think about it. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sometimes it comes out of my mouth.
I love it. I mean, that's how you make shit happen, you know?
So those people listening, this is thinking out loud. Don't desperately watch the calendars and then come back and say, "You said there was going to be a party." I did not say that there's going to be a party. I said it would be wonderful if there was a
It would be wonderful.
Kayla, what's next for you?
So I'm already working on my next book. It's well underway. I just won a Creative Capital Award for this next book. It's called I Will Give You Rest. And so I've got like really significant
rest.
institutional, I will give you rest. Yes,
Rest?
rest.
That's allowed?
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's I'm pivoting.
Edgar, I think this is a book that you should read.
One day, when I actually get
He
rest.
he owns two comic shops, a psychiatric practice, and is the dean of psychology at a university.
Wow, dude.
I don't know when he breathes,
That's astounding.
and
No
his
wonder
kids
you're
and wife
sick.
still seem to like him.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. I have a great wife. I wouldn't do what I do without her, to be quite honest. So
She's
Right.
very cool. She's very, very cool. Yeah, I liked her a lot.
She's amazing.
so,
Her brother's pretty cool too.
so
Just
merchandise
saying.
for Kayla. Have you ever thought little Kayla dolls and
I would love it. I would love it so much. Yeah, I don't know if you can see behind me, but I've got Chris Ware, Quimby's the mouse here, and I've
Ah,
got like a little Jimmy Corrigan vinyl figurine in a glass case that I'm looking at. But I'm a merchandising fiend. I absolutely
I mean,
love
Chris
toys.
Ware's a Chicago guy.
That's true. He is.
I haven't met him yet, so you'd actually have to connect us, but
He's very sweet.
but it's
Very
another
nice.
reason to come to Chicago.
That's so true. Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely like one of my all-time favorite cartoonists and probably one of my biggest, top three influences as a cartoonist. But I really, really, really love merchandising. When I first started out as a cartoonist, I had some little comic book characters that I had come up with, and I'd made little wooden dolls out of them, of them, and then I'd also made plushies of them. Like, so you tapped into
This
something
is
there.
actually that's very Chris Ware.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
There was a comics in Chicago exhibit at the Museum of Contemporary Art a couple of
Mhm.
years ago. And the Chris Ware part of it had all the models that he builds himself
They're so
when
cool.
he's making his
Yes.
comics.
Yes. I've had the chance to see some of those in person
Yeah,
too, and
yeah.
they're awe-inspiring. Yeah, very, very, very
All,
beautiful objects.
I mean, what made that a crazy experience, and I like, it's not often that I really hope that an exhibit will come back,
Hmm.
but and I want to say I want to say it was like just after the world reopened with the pandemic.
Okay.
There were joint exhibits in Chicago because at the Museum of Contemporary Art, you had like a history of Chicago comics from like 1965 onward. So you had like a lot of the underground zines into the first
Hmm.
comics into Chris Ware. Emil Ferris had unpublished pages from the second volume of My Favorite Thing is Monsters was on, up, there was exactly one section that you weren't allowed to take pictures, and it was because Emil Ferris lent unpublished pages from volume 2 of My Favorite Thing is
Wow,
Monsters to
that's
the exhibit.
crazy.
But at the same time, at the Chicago Cultural Center, they had a history of Chicago in comics up until 1965 that was curated by Chris Ware, that
Oh
was
my
all the
gosh.
comic strips and whatnot that like from the first half of the century.
Wow, you're
So
so
there were
lucky that you
two
live close to
crazy,
somewhere so incredible.
yeah, there were two crazy, there were, until the first time I got to the Billy Ireland, it was like the most comic geekdom I'd ever gotten to do.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I could totally see that. That's extreme. Yeah, I live in a little town in North Carolina, so we've never had any kind of Chris Ware exhibition here or anything comics
Right.
related whatsoever. I think I'm probably the only cartoonist in my county. But yeah, that's extraordinary. I'm
Which county are
so
you in?
I live in Alamance County. That's what it's called. Yeah. Don't look it up. You're not going to find anything you like.
Well,
I love it
see,
here.
I think
But
Lee
see,
from North Carolina. All right, my one of my partners here, I think is from there. I gotta ask him about it. But
yeah,
I
there,
forget
ask
if
him
he's North
where.
Carolina or South Carolina. No, I ask because Andrew Iden lives in nowhere, North Carolina too.
Yeah, what city is he in? I love him.
I forget the city he's in. The way I always figure it out for him is he lives like 10 minutes from Batcave. Did you know that there is a unincorporated town in North Carolina called Batcave?
No, I'm gonna take note
Yes.
though. I'm guessing there's a bat cave there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not named after Batman, but that would be awesome.
Yeah, unincorporated community. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, he's by Chimney Rock.
Yep.
Wow, very cool. Oh my God, I'm so thrilled to know
So
this.
how far is
I
that
tapped
from
out.
you?
Let's see.
I mean, we got Metropolis here in Illinois.
We do. We do.
Let's see. I don't have
They have
my.
a big Superman statue.
All right, to Bat Cave. That can't be. Oh, that's walking. I'm 71 hours walking, but I'm only a 3 hour drive,
Okay.
which
Okay.
isn't bad for North Carolina. I mean, it's a pretty
No.
wide state.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, see, there's at least, I mean, he's not the cartoonist, he's the writer, but,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I know Sanford Green's down there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Chuck Brown is in North Carolina, I think, another writer.
Yeah, there are
Um,
quite a few Heroes Con Indie Island people. Do you guys ever go to
right.
Heroes Con?
I haven't yet.
You have, Edgar? It's my
It's
favorite.
it's on my very short list.
Oh, you should go. Yeah,
I wanted to go
it's the
last year
best.
and things got in the way.
Well, hopefully
And
nothing
I
gets in
want
the
to
way
go
this
this
time.
year, but it depends on whether after buying 2 cars, I feel like I can afford it.
That is so legit. Yeah, but
Fun. Yeah,
it's my favorite.
it's definitely a good time. So we present nationally at cons on psychology and comic books but I haven't presented at Heroes Con. So
Oh,
that is
So
you've
this
got
is
to
what
reach
you
out
need
for
to
some
do. I
programming.
just figured out how I can go to Heroes Con. You and Kayla can be on the panel that I moderate.
100%.
no
Oh
problem.
yeah, I'm all about programming at Heroes Con.
Yep.
It's my
We're,
favorite thing
we're
to
going to have
do.
to talk more about this
That would
because
be
that
really fun.
I have four panels at C2E2 this year. It's the first time I've ever applied. I applied for 5, 4 got approved,
Damn,
including the
congratulations.
batshit crazy. I am so excited about this. I applied to do what I'm calling cool people talk about comics,
That's
where
amazing.
where essentially what I said was like the proposal was we're going to do one of two things, but now I know which one. So what we're going to do is we're going to project either short comics or scenes from comics, have like dramatic readings from, I've got a couple of Chicago actors involved, but I'm going to get as many of the creators that I know into that
Yeah.
room on it. I mean, this is not going to be a panel of 5. If I have my way, it will be a panel of 50. And it
Oh
will
my
be
God, that's
completely
crazy, dude.
and it will be completely like audience interactive. We're going to read this, and then whoever wants to grab the mic and say why it's awesome
Hmm.
does so.
That's amazing.
Whether
It's
it's a
a really
creator
wild idea.
or somebody from the audience or whatnot. It got a mid-afternoon Sunday slot, which I think is the absolute perfect time.
Oh yeah, that's a good spot. Yeah, it's prime real estate.
Particularly, because I think some of the creators are going to be more likely to want to grab it because they're like, oh wait, this is an excuse to shut down my table an hour earlier than I might have
Oh
otherwise.
God, yes. We're always looking for those
I
opportunities
can go celebrate the medium and then leave.
and then leave and go the fuck home. It's the best part of any con.
But yeah, no, I couldn't believe that they approved that. That was my total shot in the dark. Let's see how crazy can I get? And it was one of the first ones approved. And I'm like, oh.
Good for you.
So
Yeah,
now
you'll have
it's
to tell
just
me how
like
it goes.
literally just writing emails. Like anytime a guest is announced, it's like, okay, I know that person. Hey, do you want to join us for?
That's so cool.
So, Kayla, I have a question for you, talking about
Yes.
panels. So, if you had to give someone advice or give, anyone advice on putting to paper and pen their fears or their work, what advice would you give them and how you and the process that you did to get there?
Mhm. I would definitely say first and foremost to take care. And to go slow and to not do it if it doesn't feel safe. I'm in no way, I don't advocate for being a martyr for my work. I try to steer young people away from that idea. It's something that
You mean being a starving artist is not something we should
mm-mm,
aspire to? Kayla, what
no.
kind of capitalist are you?
I'm a girl who likes health insurance.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And please, for anybody out there, my comments were dripping with sarcasm.
You just triggered me with that. My wife says she married me for the insurance.
I mean,
That's what she tells me. She's like, you had Blue Cross PPO. That's why. I'm like,
Oh my God, my wife just quit her job at Vox where she had like literally like the best health insurance on the planet. And so now we're on just my Fantagraphics income and we've pivoted over to my Fantagraphics health insurance, which is different. It's it's been a little different. Our prescriptions are way more
hey,
expensive. So I have that's why it's fresh on the mind is I really appreciate good health insurance.
what we should say here though is you just named a comic company and said the words health insurance, which makes it much better than most comics
Oh,
companies
100%.
with the
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm not delusional by any means. Like, yeah, out of like the two places you could possibly work doing what I do, I
Right.
definitely count my blessings. Yeah, but I
I
would
mean, I think
yeah.
you can get health insurance at DC if you've got a job that makes it so they won't let you write comics.
Wow, that's fucked up. That's certainly not my case, obviously. But
Because there's and I'm drawing a blank on who is this guy that's been on the show a few times that before he started actually writing comics, he was like the DC archivist. Um,
mm,
like one of his duties for a long time was first he compiled the list of comics that they didn't have a copy of.
hmm.
And then he spent the next 10 years whittling that list down. And it went from like 3,000 comics to like double digits in the time that
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
was, in terms of either finding the art, finding a physical copy, whatever, so that they actually had all of their. But when he was working for the DC offices, he wasn't allowed to get like because he was I think he was officially with DC Legal or whatever, but whatever he was with, he wasn't allowed to also write. So his first writing gig, even though it was at DC, it actually came very shortly after he was laid off.
Hmm.
When they went west, one of the people that he worked with said, "Hey, you don't work for us anymore, but you always have great ideas. Do you want to write this?" And he said, "Hell yes."
Yeah, I bet. Well, you guys, I've got not too much time left before
Yeah,
I got to
so
get back to the day
let
job.
let's
So,
let's let's jump into the important closing questions,
yes.
and we'll just assume that we'll have you back at some point to ask the other important questions. Um, I've been doing this for a little less than 5 years now, and my life has utterly changed in the best possible ways just from being so wired into the comic community.
That makes sense.
I
Yeah.
feel like I'm living in the twilight zone.
That's
The
cool.
number of surreal experiences I have, the number of times that I get to hang out with somebody or text with somebody or fucking buy two cars in one day that I never would have been able to do if I wasn't part of the comics community, just blows my mind. And I find that everybody in this community, no matter how big or small they are, has similar stories that are just completely surreal. I mean,
Yeah, it's
Eric,
totally true.
as if you haven't been, to, if Eric hasn't told you about the con he was at in Italy with, I don't even remember the art, or I think it was Peter Bagg, um, where there was a fake terrorist attack. Ask him to, because it
Oh,
was
wow.
fucking insane. But on the better side, like Matt Wagner has stories about Will Eisner and Quentin Tarantino. Paul Pope has stories about walking in the middle of the night with Sergio Aragonés in Italy. Everybody has a story that's just like, did that really happen? So I've started collecting them. So tell me one of those things that like you just can't believe it's part of your life and it never would have been if you
Mm.
hadn't devoted yourself to comics.
Easy, man, easy.
I had a
Uh,
feeling yours would be.
yeah, yeah. It happened in 2025. It was April 10th, I think. I was in Chicago for
Hey,
my
hey.
book tour. I was at Pilsen Community Books. My event was going to be there. And before, you like Pilsen?
My old neighborhood. That's where I grew up.
No shit, dude. It's a great shop. I
Yeah.
had a fantastic experience there.
Grew
But
up there.
beforehand, so Ivan Brunetti was going to be my interviewer, and that was a really big deal because he's done very few events like in his entire career.
Yeah.
But I'd been in touch with him and sharing with him my work for well over a decade. And then before that, I was able to have dinner with him, Chris Ware, and my wife. Like right next to Pilsen is that little vegan taqueria. I don't know if you've ever eaten there, but it was really good. And so the four of us had lunch together, and it was one of the most like life affirming. I had that experience where I felt like, am I in a dream? Like,
Right.
how am I sitting here with, well, first of all, my wife I met on a bus in New York City in 2008. And so literally anytime I sort of snap out of the days of everyday life and I look at her, I have that sort of like magic sparkle realization of like, how am I married to you? So
Right.
I had that moment with her and then also sitting across from Ivan Brunetti and Chris Ware, and they were like signing the books that I brought of theirs, and then they wanted me to sign their copies of my book. So like I'm signing my book for them. It was absolutely crazy. We had so much fun. Like it was just like we got along like gangbusters. And I've been in touch with Chris for as long as I've been in touch with Ivan. He was one of the few cartoonists when I was first getting started who responded to my emails and was willing to let me send my really shitty, like hand stapled, poorly printed mini comics when I was just getting started in the early aughts. And he'd been a mentor and a friend and a supporter ever since. And it's the same thing with Ivan. And then at the actual event with Ivan, he surprised me. And oh my God, like I started fucking crying, man. It was crazy. He pulled out all of the envelopes full of all the mini comics that I'd been sending him since 2008. He'd saved them all. And it had like my shitty little handwriting and all the little like tacky stickers I put all over them and like my little like fan letters to Ivan. And it was just like I don't have a lot of people in my life who have like been here for the long haul. Like I don't have families, so I there are never opportunities for like any childhood ephemera to sort of like come up for me to ever discover anything new, physically new about my life. And I think that like having this man who has been such a supporter and like sort of like a foundational figure in my growth as a cartoonist. Like I really, really look up to him. Like care for me and care for my work. Like before I was anything, I was nothing. I was a nobody. Like, and he treasured and saw something in my work and like that like healed something deep in me. And he was such an incredible interviewer. And Chris was in the front row. He was sobbing because, like, during the interview, like, Ivan and I, like, again, it felt like we just, like, got into this, like, river of, I don't know, but we were both, like, tubing down the same river and holding hands. And it was like, it was an incredibly, it was a spiritual experience for all of us involved. And it was truly, that was one of the highlights of my entire life. Like, I went to sleep that night and I told my wife, I was like, if my life never gets better than it did today, I'm good. And then I woke up to my giant New York Times review and I was like, what? What is this life I'm living? This is fucking insane. I literally grew up in the gutter in a trailer park. Like, how are these the blessings that I'm counting? Yeah, and I woke up and I just was bawling my eyes out because I was like, I don't need, like, I was like, God, like, I'm good. Like, I can't believe you're giving me more. Like, I have more than I ever could have imagined dreaming for myself. Yeah, so I think I'm still riding that high. I think I probably will to the day I die.
Yeah. Yeah. Edgar, just to give you insight into how my brain works, my podcaster fan brain is like crying at how beautiful that is, and my event coordinator brain is going, "Ooh, if we pay for Kayla to come out, we might get Ivan and Chris Ware too,
That's fine because they don't live far.
because
Anything's
they already
possible,
live
man. You
here.
never know. You never know.
We might be able to pull a 3 for 1."
That is so funny. I have a speaking agent now, and she is a tough negotiator. So, gotta
Wait a
save up
minute,
on
we have
that
to pay
budget.
you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's got a really high minimum set for me now. I just signed with her because I signed with an agent too, a literary agent
But
for my
we're
next book.
cool, Kayla,
I
and
know, but
there's no money in
I
comics.
know she
You
know.
charge the universities,
I
not the
know.
comic shops.
Contractually though, every single
I
speaking
know.
gig,
I
I
know.
have to send it to her. Yeah,
Including
but
this
we
one?
can still talk about it.
Including this one?
All speaking events have to go through her.
Well,
Mhm. Yep.
so
But
we got an under the radar, or
Let
how
me
did that go? Because we're talking right now. That's what I'm
I
trying to
know.
figure out. Am I going to get a bill from here?
Oh no, not like this. No, 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 no,
Okay.
no. No,
Okay.
public speaking event. She's a public speaking agent. Yeah,
Okay.
no. And all that
Okay.
shit is negotiated months in advance. No, no, no. Don't you worry about a thing. This is 100% like free for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't sweat it.
Um, my final question is, it's always my
Yes.
final question. No matter how many times you're on the show, I'll ask this question. Tell me something you love,
Hmm.
preferably a comic, but we don't have
Hmm.
rules.
Hmm.
Preferably storytelling, but again with the rules. But
Hmm.
something that you love that not enough other people around you have experienced. You
Mm.
really, really want them to, so that you have more people to talk about it with.
Yeah, I've got one. It is
Okay.
not comics, but it's a book that led to Precious Rubbish being shared with the world. It's this
Okay.
book by Julia Cameron called The Artist's Way, and it's a self-guided 12-week creative program that I've done 3 times. I'm actually on week 9 right now for the third time because I'm using it to write my next book. It is like, I mean, millions of copies of this have been sold, but it's kind of like waned, I think, in popularity because it was written like in the 80s and it was like really huge at the time. But I am absolutely indebted to this book for this sort of like every creative like resurrection I've ever had in my artistic life. Like it is an absolutely astounding program that also like helped we rewire my brain into loving myself, which is a very big thing to say for someone who has had suicidal ideations and severe body dysmorphia since the day I was born. The something about the structure, the language of the program, the tasks of the program, like really literally changed my brain. And I owe like everything to it. And like the more people who like look into this book or try this book, it's life changing. It's I'm one of those like yeah, I will advertise free advertisement for the Artist Way for the rest of my life. It's extraordinary.
So just because I am a nerd like this, I immediately looked her up,
Yeah.
and because we were already on that jag, I was thinking to myself, how crazy would it be if she was also in Chicagoland?
Is she?
Um, well, I do not know for certain where she is now. I haven't
Yeah, I
managed
don't
to
know either.
figure that
I think
much
she lives in
out.
LA. She's like a movie person, so she
But
might be on the West
but
Coast.
what I have figured out is that she was born in Libertyville, Illinois, which is where the
Mhm.
comic shop that I shopped at before Edgar opened his shop is.
Oh my
Is
God.
literally between me
That's so cool.
and work. And I think also where Alex Ross lives.
Her book
Um,
is all about like recognizing synchronicity. So
so I'm just saying, like, we might be able to really make this event crazy.
I've always wanted to meet her. Yeah, she's straight up
So
like
so like
my
I mean,
life.
we'll just have to throw that in our back pocket, and yeah, that's crazy. She's
Highly
from
recommend it.
Libertyville. Come visit your family, Julia, and come to our shop.
That's so funny. Edgar, I feel like you in particular would be interested in this program. Like
Oh
from
yeah, no, I'm gonna have to look at this book.
I
yeah,
wrote it down. I'm gonna take a look at it.
okay.
Definitely.
This is totally my type of thing to look at.
It's extraordinary. It really is. It's woo-woo as fuck. Like it's really woo-woo. It's out there. But like you
And
just kind of
apparently
have
she was
to
also married to Martin Scorsese.
yes, that's right.
Not for
Yeah,
long, but long
not
enough
for
to have a
long.
child.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. But if you
Yeah.
just kind of like let go of any sort of like judgment or it's not like cool, if you know what I mean. Like it's like it's kind of humbling, it's like cheesy, but it's like if you can approach it with like a level of like openness and earnestness, there's real magic like that can potentially happen like within the self. But it's just recently, like I'm on week 9, I have produced more paintings than I have since college. Like I
Nice.
cannot stop making art. Like it's coming out of me at a furious pace. Like I literally have really bad overuse injuries in my arm because I'm
Okay,
sewing, I'm doing
this is
collage.
where I
Like,
say, have you read, do you have Creator Wilberg's book?
no, I don't. No, I don't
Okay.
actually.
Cre
Why,
cre
why? Oh, yes, because it's about how to have good like body, like
Draw Stronger.
yes, that's right. I've never read it. I got to look into that.
You need to get a copy of Draw Stronger.
Okay, that's so true.
It's
Yes.
available from
Yep.
Uncivilized Books.
Okay. That's an excellent point. Yeah, I'm like down here massaging my
For that
ankle.
matter, Creota is the wife of a friend of mine.
Yes, Bob Sikoryak.
She's married to Bob
Yeah, I
Skoriak.
love Bob.
She's been on the show once. So like, email me your address and I will buy you a copy and have it sent.
That is so sweet. I definitely will.
Be,
Yeah, I mean,
because
look at this. This is
because
what I use all day long
yeah,
for my
because
paint. Yeah,
Tom Kaczynski, the publisher of Uncivilized, is also a friend of ours. So we're more than happy to send money his
that's
way.
really nice. I would definitely say yes to that. I could really use
So
that book.
yes, just email your address and I'll have a copy
That's
sent to
really
you
generous. Thank
because
you.
it's I, I strongly believe that every comic creator needs to own 3 books at this point.
Which ones?
Draw Stronger.
Okay.
That's mostly for the artists. The writers don't need it as much, though the writers should have it to know what they're putting their artists through.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, Either Understanding Comics or
Mhm.
the more recent Cartoonist Club, which was
I
essentially
haven't read that one.
well, it's Raina Telgemeier and
Yeah,
Scott
and
McCloud.
Scott McCloud.
As so, like, imagine Understanding Comics written for the middle grade with a Raina Telgemeier story framing it, and that's the Cartoonist Club, and it's
Okay, cool.
amazing.
Yeah, I've
But you
read
get
great
most of the
reviews.
data from Understanding Comics, not all of it, but a lot of it, um, in a really fun form. So one of the two, and then I would say Shelley Bond's Filth and Grammar, the first of her editing trilogy,
I haven't read that
um,
either.
is another one. Well, if you're sending me your address, you might get that one too.
Okay,
Um,
I won't say no to any of it.
Shelley is also a friend.
Cool.
Um,
All right, shit, you guys. I gotta head out.
so
I gotta get my
yeah.
ass to
Well,
work.
if you need me to, I'll email Eric and say, I'm sorry I kept her.
Don't tell him I'm doing this on the clock. Shh. Do
What
not
do you
even.
mean? You're promoting
Pleasure,
a
Kayla.
What's
Fantagraphics
that?
book.
It's been a pleasure, Kayla.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys
You're
so much.
promoting a Fantagraphics book. How is this not work?
Wow. It's not
And
book
we
design
and we
work.
did just say that on the recording. So
All right. All right, you guys. I gotta go before I dig myself a deeper hole.
you're fine. You're fine. You're
Awesome.
fine. For
All right.
Kayla E, this has been 22 panels. We will see you after the next page.
Bye, guys.